Hey everyone, and welcome to a deep dive that'll really get you thinking about AI and what it can do.
That's exciting stuff.
We're looking at whether AI can disrupt huge sectors like healthcare, education, and housing.
Not just like down the road either, but like right now.
Yeah, this is happening right now.
It is.
We have a really interesting source for this deep dive.
Yeah, super interesting.
It's an actual conversation between author-entrepreneur Trevor Nell
Yeah, I've read some of his stuff.
and Microsoft's AI platform Copilot.
Wow.
So they're not just talking about theories,
Mm.
they're actually brainstorming a real business built around AI.
It's like getting a sneak peek at the future.
Exactly. And they go deep on some really tough questions,
Like what?
like why healthcare, education, and even just finding a place to live are becoming so unaffordable.
Yeah. Haven't we all felt that?
Yeah, tell me about it.
Whether it's doctor's bills or tuition or crazy rent prices.
Feels like the costs just keep climbing higher and higher.
And Copilot points out a few key reasons for that. We're dealing with labor shortages across the board.
That makes sense.
Demand's going through the roof while supply can't keep up.
So it's like a perfect storm.
And in healthcare especially,
Yeah.
you've got rising drug costs making it even worse.
It's a recipe for an affordability crisis.
Absolutely.
So we've laid out the problem,
Right,
but where does AI come in?
right.
I mean, am I picturing robots performing surgeries and teaching math?
I mean, maybe someday.
That's a little freaky, to be honest.
Well, it's not that extreme yet,
Okay.
but Copilot gets really specific with some AI solutions.
Okay, I'm listening.
Imagine this AI predicting disease outbreaks
Wow.
before they even happen,
Like a heads up?
so we can get resources where they're needed most.
That would be incredible.
Or think about personalized learning plans for students.
So everyone learns at their own pace.
Exactly. That's efficiency.
Makes sense.
Potentially even saving money in the long run.
That does sound impressive.
It-
But I have to admit, I'm still a little skeptical.
Oh, why is that?
These are fields that are really rooted in tradition,
Uh-huh.
where expensive degrees and certifications are like the gold standard.
I see what you mean.
Can AI really challenge that system? I mean, that's a big deal.
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay, tell me more.
Copilot predicts we're going to see this rise of self-taught experts.
Okay.
People whose skills, honed by AI, could rival those with traditional credentials.
Hold on, are we saying college degrees are going to be a thing of the past?
It's not about getting rid of traditional education.
Okay,
It's more about rethinking how we define expertise.
I like that.
In the future, Copilot points to 4 key factors.
Okay, so 4 key factors.
That could drive this major shift.
All right, break it down for me. What's the first one?
The first factor is how education and certification are changing.
So like how we learn and prove we know stuff?
Exactly. AI-powered learning could become so good, so personalized, that it totally changes how we think about learning and skills.
So universities, those traditional institutions, they might have to adapt to offer more hands-on AI integrated programs
To keep up with the times.
to stay relevant.
Exactly. The second factor is all about the changing dynamics in professional fields.
So like how jobs and careers are evolving.
Yeah, we might see industries placing more value on skills you can actually demonstrate.
Like what you could
Yeah.
do, not just what's on your resume.
Right. Problem-solving abilities rather than just relying on those degrees.
Practical skills over pieces of paper. I like that.
Makes sense, right?
What were the other 2 factors?
Well, the third one is the boom in entrepreneurial opportunities.
Okay.
Entrepreneurship. Imagine AI giving self-taught individuals the power to start disruptive businesses.
In healthcare, education, housing, you name it.
Exactly.
Or-
Suddenly people who didn't go the traditional route,
Yeah.
they have the tools to challenge the big players.
So it's not just about individual expertise.
Right.
It's about a potential power shift, a real change to the status quo.
Exactly. And the fourth factor, Copilot emphasizes, is the strength of collaborative learning.
So collaborative learning.
Think of these vibrant online communities where people are sharing knowledge, working together.
All driven by AI.
Yeah, and pushing innovation outside those traditional institutions.
Like a collective, decentralized way of learning and solving problems.
Exactly.
Wow, there's a lot to think about here.
Isn't there?
It sounds like Trevor Nell as an entrepreneur.
Right. Always looking for innovation.
He's totally on board with this vision, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's especially excited about making these sectors more affordable
Right.
and more accessible. He sees AI as the key to shaking things up,
Maybe in some ways.
to putting what he calls incumbent noses out of joint.
So less about protecting the old way of doing things
Yeah.
and more about opening up new possibilities.
Exactly.
But how do they see this actually working?
Right. How do you build a business around these ideas?
It all sounds very conceptual so far.
That's where their brainstorming gets really interesting.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Nell's a practical guy.
Yeah.
He wants a model that's low risk, but high return. They call it a franchise without walls.
Okay, so not your typical franchise.
Nope. Enabled by, you guessed it, AI.
A franchise without actual physical locations.
Yeah. No brick and mortar stores.
I'm intrigued, but also a little lost.
Yeah.
How would that work?
Well, that's where the magic of AI comes in.
Okay.
They envision three main components.
Well, you know what I mean.
Digital platforms for delivering services online.
Okay, online service.
AI-powered marketplaces connecting providers and consumers.
Okay, connecting people.
And a global network of remote workers.
So instead of investing in expensive buildings and offices,
Right?
they're creating this online infrastructure using AI to handle everything.
From matching clients to managing the workforce.
It's starting to make more sense now.
Good.
It's like a virtual business
In a way.
that can scale up quickly and tap into talent anywhere in the world.
It aligns perfectly with their idea of empowering a diverse, decentralized workforce.
Where your location doesn't limit your opportunities.
Right.
It's starting to sound less like science fiction and more like a real business plan.
And it gets even more tangible.
Oh, really?
Copilot actually starts visualizing the startup.
Uh-huh.
Imagine a sleek, modern design
I like it.
with a user-friendly interface, vibrant colors,
Keep going.
interactive elements, personalized dashboards.
That sounds pretty cool.
They even brainstorm names
Oh, like what?
like Innovate Next or Synergy AI.
Get you.
They're thinking about the whole brand identity.
So not just the tech, but the feeling.
Exactly the feeling they want to create.
This is pretty amazing, but let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
Okay,
How long would it take to build this thing, and how much would it cost?
great question.
Because this could actually happen.
It could.
What do they say?
Copilot estimates it would take 6 to 10 months for development and launch.
Okay. Yeah, it's not too bad.
And the estimated cost is somewhere between $200,000 and $400,000.
Wow, they even put a price tag on it.
They're very thorough.
So what are the big expenses?
Well, they break it down into phases.
Yeah.
Concept development and planning, building the platform, testing and iterating, integrating the AI marketplace.
All those moving parts?
Developing those tools for the remote workforce branding and marketing.
It's like they've mapped out the entire journey
They have.
from that initial brainstorming all the way to launching the business
Right.
with a cost estimate for every step.
It's fascinating, right?
It really is.
And they emphasize that it's all flexible.
Oh, okay.
They can adapt based on feedback and what the market needs.
So it's not set in stone.
Nope, it's all about being agile and evolving as needed.
But we keep coming back to this central question.
What's that?
Can self-taught experts and those with traditional education really work together?
It's a big one.
I mean, could there be some ego clashes?
It's definitely possible.
People feeling threatened or doubting each other's expertise?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
It is.
And one we'll dig into more in part 2, this deep dive.
Okay, I'm definitely coming back for that.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to our deep dive, looking at how AI could completely transform sectors like healthcare, education, and housing.
Last time we were talking about this franchise without walls idea.
Yeah.
This big question of, can it really work?
Yeah.
Can you bring those self-taught experts and people with traditional education together and actually make it work?
Right. Will they really collaborate?
And as we heard, nothing like this really exists yet.
Not yet.
But what's exciting is that Trevor and Copilot aren't just sitting around theorizing.
No way.
They're trying to make it happen.
They are.
They've got the vision, they've got the business model, even the budget figured out.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Now it all comes down to that human element, you know,
Right.
bridging that gap between those two worlds of expertise.
That's the real challenge.
If they can pull it off,
Yeah.
this collaboration could unlock so much potential for AI in these sectors.
Think about it. You combine the deep theoretical knowledge from those traditionally trained professionals with the practical, sometimes unconventional approaches of those self-taught innovators.
It's like the whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
Exactly.
But let's be realistic for a second.
Okay.
Getting these two groups to not just coexist,
Right.
but actually collaborate,
And work together.
that could be easier said than done.
Yeah, there's bound to be some skepticism, maybe even competition.
Like, whose approach is better?
Right, exactly.
So how you overcome that?
Well, that's why Trevor and Copilot are really focused on building features into the platform that actually encourage that collaboration, that break down the walls between them.
We talked about things like skill matching
Yeah.
and collaborative projects, but they don't stop there.
No.
They go further.
They mention mentorship programs
Yeah,
and hybrid learning courses.
right.
It's like they're creating a whole
A
environment
whole ecosystem.
where continuous learning and growth are encouraged,
And supported.
no matter what your background is.
Exactly.
And AI plays a huge role in this.
It does. They're talking personalized assessments that validate both practical and theoretical knowledge.
Right, so it values both equally.
AI-powered learning modules that adapt to your needs.
Super personalized.
Even AI-moderated discussions.
Yeah, to keep those conversations productive and meaningful.
That's cool, but here's a question that keeps popping up for me.
Okay, shoot.
Will clients buy into this?
I mean, will they trust it?
Will they really be convinced that this mixed team with both self-taught and traditionally educated experts is the best way to get results?
It's a valid concern.
How do you overcome that hesitation?
Well, that's where what they call the magic bullet guarantee comes in.
The magic bullet guarantee.
That's pretty bold.
Tell me more.
They guarantee the skills and expertise of their collaborators.
So they stand behind their people.
Exactly, to deliver those project outcomes.
So they're taking on the risk.
They are shifting the risk from the client to the platform.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I can see why a client would like that.
Right.
But how do they ensure those outcomes are actually met?
That's a good point. What's stopping someone from exaggerating their skills?
Right. Or just coasting along.
And Copilot addresses this directly.
Okay.
They talk about building this multi-layered system.
Oh, layers of accountability.
Exactly. So you've got the continuous AI-driven assessments that keep verifying skills.
So it's not just a one-time check.
Right. And they break down projects into those measurable milestones.
Okay, so you can see progress.
Yeah, that are tracked in real time, and they're using data analytics to constantly monitor how well those teams are working together.
So it's like a constant feedback loop.
It is making sure everyone's pulling their weight and contributing.
But they're not just relying on AI for this.
Oh, no, they're not.
They're also incorporating client feedback.
Directly from the client.
So clients can directly review each team member's performance.
Yeah, giving that direct feedback.
So it's not just a trust us situation.
No, it's about transparency and showing the evidence.
I like that because it addresses a concern that I think a lot of people have about working with self-taught experts.
Right. How do you know they really have the chops?
Exactly. But this system seems designed to address that.
It provides that reassurance.
Okay, so let's say I'm a client
Okay.
and I'm intrigued by this whole approach.
Uh-huh.
What would it actually look like to work with this platform?
Okay, so first, you would outline your project needs.
Like what I'm trying to achieve,
Exactly what you want to accomplish and your desired outcomes.
just like I would with any other service provider.
Exactly. And then the platform's AI takes over,
Okay.
matching you with a team of experts,
Okay.
blending those with traditional education and the self-taught individuals whose skills and experience match what you need.
So no more searching through tons of profiles
No more endless scrolling.
or trying to put a team together myself,
The AI does the heavy lifting for you.
saving me time and effort.
And you have that added bonus of the magic bullet guarantee.
Right. Knowing that they're vouching for this team.
They believe in the team they've put together.
What about the more practical stuff?
Like what?
Like communication, project management.
All the nitty-gritty?
Am I coordinating with a bunch of different people? Or is there like a central hub?
Well, this is where those remote workforce tools come into play.
Okay, so those tools?
They're envisioning this suite of AI-powered tools
Yeah.
for project management and communication that really streamline the whole process.
So I could track progress, talk to the team, get updates all in one place.
All in one central location.
That's pretty slick.
It's like having a virtual project manager,
Keeping everything running smoothly.
no matter where everyone is in the world.
This is starting to feel like a glimpse into the future of work.
It is pretty futuristic.
But are there any downsides?
Yeah.
Any risks or challenges that maybe they haven't considered?
Well, one challenge they do point out
Okay.
is maintaining quality control
With people all over the world.
across a globally distributed workforce.
Yeah, that makes sense.
How do you ensure consistency and high standards when you're working with people from all different backgrounds?
With different levels of experience.
Right. And that's where those AI-driven assessments and those continuous feedback loops become even more crucial.
So raising the bar.
They need to make sure everyone on the platform meets a certain level of quality.
Right. A baseline.
And they'll likely need to develop very clear protocols and guidelines
To make sure everyone's on the same page.
for remote collaboration to ensure consistency.
Across all those different projects.
It sounds like they're thinking about this, on trying to anticipate those potential problems.
But there's another layer to this.
Oh, what's that?
Remember, Trevor's vision isn't just about technology.
Right.
It's about disrupting those traditional power structures
Yeah.
and creating a more equitable model of work.
More fairness.
So it's not just about building a cool app.
It's about something bigger.
It's about building a better future.
That's a powerful idea.
It is, and that's where things get really interesting.
Okay, I'm ready.
What are the implications for society?
Right. The big picture.
If AI really does democratize knowledge and empowers this global network of self-taught experts,
What could that mean for all of us?
that's what we'll explore in part 3 of our deep dive.
Can't wait.
Welcome back to the deep dive. It's been quite a journey so far.
It has.
We've been exploring this vision with Trevor Nell and Copilot,
Yeah, how AI could really change healthcare education and housing.
and we've gone from those really practical solutions like brainstorming those
Right.
to this big picture idea of a whole new way to work together.
Collaboration on a whole new level.
But I think it's time to zoom out even more.
Okay. Yeah.
What about the bigger picture?
The ripple effects.
Exactly. We've talked about disrupting these huge industries, but what could these changes mean for society?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is this potential societal transformation.
Yeah, huge.
AI democratizing knowledge, the rise of self-taught experts, a global workforce working remotely.
Those are forces that could really reshape our world.
Okay, so let's get a little philosophical here.
Okay, I like it.
What are some of the good things that could come out of this AI-powered future?
Okay, so good things.
Yeah, what could it mean for the average person?
Well, one of the most exciting things is greater access to opportunity.
Okay, access to opportunity.
Imagine a world where it doesn't matter so much where you live, or your background, or even those traditional degrees.
So breaking down those barriers.
Anyone with the drive and the access to AI-powered learning could learn new things, develop skills, contribute their talents.
So it's like leveling the playing field.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your potential wouldn't be limited by your circumstances.
I like that.
And think about the innovation that could spark
Yeah.
when you remove those barriers
Uh-huh.
and empower more diverse people to be a part of problem solving.
You're bound to get some new and groundbreaking ideas.
More minds, more perspectives, more possibilities.
But I also have to ask about the potential downsides.
Of course, there are always two sides to the coin.
What are some of the risks we need to be thinking about?
Well, one of the biggest concerns is jobs.
Job displacement.
As AI gets even more sophisticated, it's likely to automate a lot of the tasks that humans are doing now.
So are we all going to be replaced by robots?
I don't think it's that simple.
Okay.
History shows us that new technology often creates new jobs.
Even as it makes others obsolete.
Exactly. But we do need to be proactive about it.
So what can we do?
We need to focus on retraining and upskilling programs.
So helping people learn new skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Equipping people with the skills that are uniquely human,
Like what?
things that AI can't replicate easily.
Okay.
Creativity, critical thinking, complex problem-solving, emotional intelligence.
So instead of being afraid of the robots,
We need to focus on what makes us human.
I like that.
Another concern is inequality.
The gap between the haves and have-nots.
If the benefits of AI aren't shared fairly, it could make that gap even wider.
That's a scary thought,
It is those who already have advantages could benefit the most.
leaving others behind.
Exactly. So we need to be very careful.
Intentional about how we develop and use AI.
It needs to be a force for good, not a tool for division.
Ethical AI development.
It needs to be a top priority,
We need to make sure everyone has access to these tools and opportunities.
not just a select few.
So it's not just about the technology itself.
It's about building a better world alongside it.
A more just and equitable society.
Exactly. Using AI to empower people, not replace them. To create opportunities, not inequality.
To solve problems, not create new ones.
That's the goal.
Those are big goals.
They are.
Do you think we can achieve them?
That's the question we all need to grapple with.
It is.
The future of AI is not set in stone.
We have a say.
It's being shaped right now by our choices,
Our values.
our actions.
So it's not about what AI can do.
It's about what we want it to do.
We have the power to guide AI development in a way that benefits everyone.
But it takes effort
Thoughtful
and
consideration.
a willingness to work together.
To collaborate across different fields and perspectives.
It's going to take all of us.
This has been an amazing deep dive.
It
We started with this question about affordability,
Right.
and we ended up exploring this whole new vision for the future,
Driven by AI.
full of incredible potential, but also some challenges.
It's both exciting and a little daunting.
It is, but Trevor Nell and Copilot, They've really given us something to think about.
They have.
This future isn't something that just happens to us.
We create it
It's up to us to decide what we want it to look like.
through the choices we make.
I think what I'm taking away from this is that we shouldn't be afraid of the future.
Embrace it.
Embrace it with curiosity and responsibility.
I like that.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep imagining the possibilities.